Hey everybody, Andy here at Game Totally. We're back for round 4 of Vintage League and we're playing Bant today. And unfortunately, we have run into a player who I believe is a mono white player. And as I have played more and more against mono white recently, I have felt that I am a dog to with mid-range strategies versus the white archetype. But this deck is very creature dense, so we might have a chance with this one. I did lose to it earlier with Bug and have, I think, only ever beat it with Bug once. So we will see. Well, I mean, turn one Archon's pretty good. Is it good against what they're doing, though? Probably not. If we had a land here, boy, this would be a little bit of a different scenario. But can we win off the back of Archon? Let's try it. I honestly feel like it's just such a difficult match. Like, if I can somehow find a green land here and get the Noble Hierarch down, and then we can get into swords and, build our way up to potentially an endurance. Maybe this force will matter for some fast mana they have. Now, this is all presuming my opponent is playing mono white. They may not be. Well, we got that in. Let's see how we do from here. I will counter fast mana if they choose to do that as their turn 1 play. There it is. I mean, look, this is a situation where you don't have a lot of good targets for your forces in these matchups. I don't know if they're playing Caverns of Souls or not, but if they play a land here, it comes into play tapped, like, and then they have another one that comes into play tapped, like we might be able to get ahead of them somehow. So let's see. We are definitely going to need help here. We need to get a green land here ASAP. That should come in tapped, yeah. Okay, we did not find one, unfortunately. But let's hope they keep playing lands up, come into play tapped. And hopefully we can find a source here. Yeah. Yeah, Noble Hierarch's a good one for them. Okay, well, there it is. We did. I guess my question here is I think we just got to get our own Noble Hierarch into play. We just don't have a lot of choice. And this also gives us Exalted to help us spur ourselves along here. So, not bad. And if my opponent decides not to wasteland me and we draw another land, we can get a second Archon into play, which is probably decent. Have the potential to ambush with an Endurance. Those are improbable lines, given as we currently sit, but that could of course change. I don't know if my opponent has more land, but they know we've struggled all game with land, so now what would be interesting is if they actually wastelanded me here and did not play another land. Would I go after their Hierarch? That could be an interesting line. Let's see. Yeah, Stoneforge, geez, that's a tough one. See if they play another land. Holder complete. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so unfortunately, we're going to have to kill the Stoneforge here. I don't have a lot of choice in that matter. But we're going to keep trying to get in here, and maybe we can find a blue card off the top here. Maybe we can find another land. Like Wasteland wouldn't be the worst. No, if they have another land, it doesn't look so good, but we're hanging around here. We are going to need some help. Okay. I don't think that's the worst way for them to spend a turn where they're not pressuring me. No, another... Okay, Luminic Aspirant. That's a pretty good one. Hopefully we find... well, I can't actually counter it. Yeah, sadly I cannot counter a Luminic Aspirant, but we're hanging around. I mean... Can only play one a turn, so... Well, they got their own. Sweet, we were able to counter that. Flusterstorm's a bit of a brick. I don't know, we might be able to get there off the back of this Archon, guys. Oh, they found another Archon, okay. And the problem is the Aspirant is going to make the Archon bigger than mine very quickly. But I think I might be big enough where I have to force a block here from them. Like, they can play the Aspirant here. Oh. Did they not do that right? This looks like it's counterable. Did they tap their mana wrong? Didn't say uncounterable. Yeah, they didn't tap their mana correctly, and they made it counterable. I don't think it would have mattered here because this would have pumped up to a 3-4. Actually, it would have mattered. Yeah, they threw the game there, potentially. I don't know what they have here, but they pretty much have to block my 3-4 Archon. So yeah, that really mattered. Yep. I guess I'm just going to wasteland them here. I'm going to take this. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I could take their Cavern. Wow. Turn 1 Archon gets there. That felt awesome. Okay. I mean, sometimes you take those gambits and they work, and quite often, or probably more often than not, they don't. But that is an example of the power of Archon of Emeria. Just a really powerful card. So we have a lot of the same tools going on here. Don't feel like Daze is really that good. I think Sylvan Library is probably just a little bit too slow for what I'm looking to accomplish. Force of Negation is pretty bad. Force of Vigor is not very good either. Like, I think Endurance is solid. I don't think we want Pithing Needle. And Collector Roof is pretty weak. But it is a blocker. Thing is, do we want a Tabernacle? Like, I think Tabernacle in itself is pretty meh, but it does slow them down. I think it's reasonable to do on the draw. And maybe we do want Collector Roof if we are doing that line. I just think Force of Negation is typically not a great card. All right, let's see how we do here, folks. Well, this one's pretty awkward. All we've got is a wasteland. Just think we're going to have to do better than that, unfortunately. Okay, this looks a lot better. We might need a collector roof to get down in the way of something. Actually, yeah, I think this is fine. Like, look, if my opponent has a turn one arc on this game too, like, yes, our lands are looking pretty bad, but Artificer, okay. Seems pretty good. Guess we kind of need to find a swords off the top pretty quick. Let's see what my opponent's doing. So they don't have a white source up. I think I'm going to have to fetch a white source, and I might have to actually discard here, but I think it's worth the gamble. I just think that we need to be very aggressive here. Okay. So we didn't find it. That's okay. We're facing down a Cauldron Complete here, potentially if they have a land, a white source. Be really lucky if they didn't. Is that way we could follow up with a collector roof and strip mine them. We'll see. There's no guarantee they have a white source here. They might want to wasteland me. So there's the white source. So they're just going to get in with a Cauldron Complete. So this card is really hard to beat. The good news is that we have Swords to Plowshares in our deck, as well as a Prismatic Ending. And these are all good cards for us. The bad news is that we could be dead before we're able to orchestrate any of that plan because we don't have them in hand right now. So I think we're in a pretty bad spot. But not dead. We're not dead. I think just playing, I mean, yeah. Gonna play the Archon out here. Think I'm gonna strip mine them. And we just have to hope it's enough that we can find just top deck a swords. I mean, it's very possible my opponent has a Path to Exile here, which we're unfortunately not able to benefit from. We don't have basics in our deck. Yep. So they got our Path, or our Tundra. 2 turns here. So we're all right. Let's just find a swords or prismatic ending. We didn't find either, unfortunately. This is a tough spot we're in here. Well, let's take away as much as we can from them here. We can't really attack because I will need to fetch to to use my white source here if I can find one. And 2 swords. Ooh, Teferi, that's a rough one. So, unfortunately, we're gonna first strike trample. Yeah, the trample gets me. Okay, they got that one. Unfortunately, because I could have cast a fairy and bounced it, but we were a little bit too far behind. They do have Cavernous Souls, but I still think that Collector or Days could be a thing here. I don't think I want Needle for something like Stoneforge Mystic. This is super awkward. I'm going to keep it, though. It's a little bit risky. They're down to 6. I wouldn't mind being able to walk here. Looking for a blue source. They're down to 5, but we're still in trouble here. Once again, I will be quite aggressive with my forces on their fast mana. So let's see what we're dealing with here. So they do have a Stoneforge. All right, well, we floundered a little bit, but let's hope we can find a land here. What I'm hoping they do is they go Cavernous Souls into human, and I swords their noble. Let's see what they find here off the Once Upon a Time, but Funacrakus, okay. Yeah, so a bit of trouble here. Mox. I'm going to let it resolve against my better judgment. Because what I think they're going to do is they're going to put it on Artificer, and I'm going to swords their Artificer. And let's just hope we find a land here. Oh, okay. Well, look. I think this is about as good as it's going to get for me at the moment. These are, I don't have the blue source, but I'm pretty happy to have been able to cast the Archon there, and green is a very prominent color in my deck, so Stoneforge, what? Off the top. Really nice. I'm in huge trouble now. Sword of Feast and Famine, yeah. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to get there, unfortunately. We need it. Well, I shouldn't say that. Look, we do have outs here. We need Wasteland. Swords is our best draw. Prismatic Ending. Yuck. Okay, well, we do have the Wasteland for this. And I'm going to play this because they have to play their Krakus out now. It comes in tapped, and I get that. And so there's no guarantee they're going to find a white source off the top again. So I am buying time here, which is significant. I mean, we're walking a tightrope for sure, but Come on, help. Oh, Breacher does not help me. I mean, I guess it turns on my second force, but I really need to be casting that spell so I can get it in damage. I really need a blue source here and have to hope my opponent did not find a white source. Okay, maybe they didn't. Okay. There it is. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Hull Breach in, and then I'm going to, at the end of their turn, and then I will Time Walk the next turn. I think that's my plan. I just have to hope it's enough. There's their white source. Shit. Big game there, guys. Wow, was that big game. I mean, let's go. They've conceded. Yes, guys, we beat a really tough matchup there in humans, and it seemed like a really improbable thing to happen there in both of our wins. I was feeling very behind, but I'm telling you, the power of Archon is a real thing. It just can absolutely take over a game to the point where I was able to wasteland my opponent out there from being able to get their Cauldron complete after seeing 2 Stone Forges, and we were able to ambush it with Hull Breacher and take over the game. So I feel really good about those wins, despite they were some very sketchy keeps. The deck was able to find a way. So hope you enjoyed the match, and remember, hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and we'll see you for round 5. Let's see if we can trophy.